Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hi, my name is Krishnan. I'll be doing the Hindu news analysis for the day. These are the 5 articles that will be discussed, and towards the end we'll see previous year questions. So the first article is about quality and inclusive education and how Tamil Nadu is an example for it. So what has happened recently, NIRF, that is the National Institutional Ranking Framework, which was adopted by the Ministry of Education. What they are doing is they are using it to rank higher education institutes. So in that we see a very noteworthy feature of Tamil Nadu. So what we find here is the 2023 NIRF ranking of the top 100 colleges in India. Most of the colleges are in Tamil Nadu. So and what it also shows is success of Tamil Nadu, because consecutively for the last 5-6 years they are in the top rank. So this shows that there is both quality and inclusiveness. So in this article we analyze what is the Tamil Nadu model. So the Tamil Nadu experience is akin to its state's motto. So what is the state's motto? Development with social justice. So how is the NIRF is calculated? So they have 5 parameters, and so what are the parameters? Teaching, learning and resources, graduation outcome, research and professional practices, outreach and inclusivity, and perception. So each parameter has several components and varying weightage. So we cannot tell this is perfect, but it is reasonably robust, and it is broad based, and the parameters are curated. And over the years the number of colleges participating in NIRF has grown from 535 in 2017 to 2746 in 2023. So there's a 5-fold increase, and but we can still say this is only a paltry proportion, because there are more number of colleges in India. And one good thing is the NIRF ranking has gained wide traction and credibility, and many good colleges are participating in NIRF exercise. So if colleges are in the top 100, it would bring them repute, and their demand for admission also will increase. So that is why we are telling we are hopeful that a lot of good quality colleges participated in this exercise. So now let us see the share of colleges. Of the top 100 NIRF ranked colleges in 2023, Tamil Nadu has the largest share. So it has 35 colleges in top 100, followed by Delhi, which has 32, and then Kerala has 14, and West Bengal has 8. So just these 4 states collectively contribute to 89% of the top colleges, which speaks volumes about other regions, because in other regions colleges are not there. So bigger states such as Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Odisha do not have a single college in top 100. Even share of other southern states like Karnataka, which has just 2 colleges, Telangana has 1, and Andhra Pradesh has not one good college also in top 100. So, and the share of Tamil Nadu is 35%, which is more than double of the combined share of the other 4 southern states. So the other 4 southern states is 17%. So how do we analyze the performance of Tamil Nadu? Is it consistent or sporadic? So if you analyze from the 2017 data, it shows that since 2017, Tamil Nadu has been a consistent lead. So not just this year. So since 2017, they have been consistent. And even in the last 5 years, a lot of colleges are continuously participating, but Tamil Nadu has still retained its top position. But in 2020 alone, Delhi also was on par with it. So the larger pattern of 4 states, that is Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Kerala and West Bengal, they hold larger chunk of top colleges. Other states have not particularly done well. So for instance, Andhra Pradesh had 1 top college in both 2022 and 2021 in the ranking, whereas Karnataka share went up to 3 in 2021. So barring Gujarat and Maharashtra, the other big states hardly had any representation in most years. So now let us analyze what's happening in Tamil Nadu, because is it concentrated or dispersed throughout Tamil Nadu? So is the performance of Tamil Nadu incongruent with its motto of development with social justice? Because if we are just going to analyze if top ranked colleges are just in Chennai or they present throughout Tamil Nadu. Because if it is just in Chennai, what will happen? Only the urban elites and other advantaged social groups will have access to college, and rural and socially disadvantaged groups will not have access to college. So we find that in Chennai only 9 colleges are there, that is 26%. So Coimbatore also has 26% college, 9 colleges, and other district like Tiruchirappalli has 5 colleges, and the remaining 12 colleges out of 35 are widely spread across 11 places. So this broad pattern was seen in other years too, and even though we can tell that Chennai, Coimbatore and Tiruchirappalli cater to only urban dwellers, the other top ranked 23 colleges are there, right, from 3 cities. So we tell that these colleges are serving the poor and disadvantaged social group from these regions as well as those contiguous to them. Why is this happening? Because Tamil Nadu has the highest reservation quota. And one more thing, the reservation is not just high, it is very effectively implemented also. So that is why in Tamil Nadu, both the advantaged group and disadvantaged group, both of them are in college. So we also find that since more than 1/3 of the top ranked colleges are dispersed across places, they are catering not just to rural and underserved area, but also they are providing an opportunity for students from poor and disadvantaged social groups. So these students will not be able to come to Chennai or Coimbatore and study. So even these people are able to go to college in Tamil Nadu. So what do we find? The college based out of Chennai in general and other districts, they promote both quality and inclusion and thereby contribute to the goal of development with social justice. So even in this area, Tamil Nadu is consistent, and the only other state which comes very close is Kerala. So Tamil Nadu's impressive and consistent performance in higher education shows that quality and inclusion can be achieved together and consistently. So this finding should prompt other southern states, which also have a reasonably inclusive and effective social welfare architecture, to introspect why they lag far behind and inspire them to take action to rectify these issues. Now let us move on to the next article. In this article, the chairman of the Law Commission, Justice Rituraj Avasthi, he's telling why India should retain Sedition Law. So what is the clamor? Because a lot of people are telling colonial era Sedition Law must be repealed, but Law Commission Chairman Justice Rituraj Avasthi is telling that it is very important tool to safeguard the safety and integrity of the nation, because he's telling in many parts of the country, from Kashmir to Kerala and from Punjab to Northeast, there are a lot of problems. So he is defending the panel's recommendation to retain the law, but right now it is under the Supreme Court's consideration. Right now he's supporting the panel's recommendation, but he's telling we have enough safeguards in it to prevent its misuse. And he's also telling laws such as UAPA, NSA and all, they operate in different fields and they cannot be used to cover sedition, and therefore he's telling we need a specific law on sedition. Because earlier what people told, see, already you have UAPA, NSA and all, no, you arrest people under that. Why are you using a separate 124A sedition law for arresting people for treason? But he's telling no, they all operated under different fields. This is different. Next is telling, see, sedition is not just a colonial legacy, and just because it is a colonial legacy, you cannot reveal it, because even countries like US, Canada, Australia and Germany have their own such laws. So now he's telling how we prevent misuse. So the Law Commission's report was submitted to the government last month, and he's telling how to prevent its misuse. So first of all, the opposition parties and all were against this, because they are telling this is an attempt to stifle dissent and voices against the ruling party, because we have Lok Sabha election next year, right? So they are against this Law Commission recommendation. So the government is telling that it will take an informed and reasoned decision on the Law Commission report. But see, after consulting all stakeholders, and they're telling that the recommendations were persuasive but not binding, and even opposition party is telling that the law is still draconian only. So how do they prevent its misuse? Because they have a lot of procedural safeguards. So what are the procedural safeguards? Preliminary inquiry would be done by a police officer of the rank of inspector or above, and the inquiry would be done within 7 days, and the inquiry report will be submitted to the competent government authority for lodging FIR. And on the basis of the preliminary report, the competent government authority, if it finds anything cogent evidence with regard to commissioning of the offence of sedition, then it will grant permission, then only the person can be arrested. It is only after the grant of permission that FIR under section 124A of the IPC shall be lodged. So what else they have done? They have recommended that the central government may issue guidelines which are to be followed in case of commission for any such offence, and they might also come up with guidelines that might clarify as to under what circumstances the said offence was committed. So, and then the chairman is telling the law panel had not made any recommendations with regard to enhancement of punishment. But what do we see? We see that the law commission has asked that the punishment be increased from 3 years with fine to 7 years with or without fine. So what is telling 3 years is very less, so increase it to 7 years. So what are the arguments in favor of sedition law? Why do we need sedition? See, firstly, we know freedom of speech is protected by Article 19, Clause 1, but it is not absolute. There are reasonable restrictions. And why? Because sometimes speech is used as a tool to destabilize the country's polity and promote enmity in the society. Next, what it wants. Next, it protects the elected government from attempts to overthrow the government through violence and illegal means. Because see, the continuous existence of government is very important, right? Then only there will be stability for the state. So why do we need it? Because Maoist insurgents and rebel groups, what they're telling, they're openly telling they will overthrow the government by revolution. So 124A should be retained because it is very important for national security. And fourth, if contempt of court invites penal action, contempt of government should also attract punishment, right? So that is the logical progression. So what are the arguments against sedition law? So obviously the law has been misused by both the union government and state governments to muzzle free speech and dissent. So what will happen? This is in direct violation of Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. Why is this happening? Because the misuse is by vague definition for the word dissatisfaction towards government. So using this, it is open for wide interpretation and people are being arrested on those grounds. So over the years, what governments have done, they have invoked this section against activists, detractors, writers, and even cartoonists. So they make sure that there is no political dissent at all. So a recent report shows that the number of cases of sedition under section 124A increased by 160%, but the rate of conviction dropped to 3.3% in 2019. Next, what it creates dissonance between its international commitments and domestic practice, because what happened in the open societies, a statement was signed by India. So what was it about? It commits signatories to freedom of speech and expression both online and offline. And third, there has been a growing legal constituency to scrap this law, because in February 2021, a Delhi court said that the sedition law could not be invoked to quieten the disquiet under the pretense of muzzling miscreants. So the Chief Justice of India also raised questions about why you are having a colonial era, because in the colonial era itself it was used to subjugate people. Again, you are using this to subjugate people. Like that, the Chief Justice made a comment. He made an observation. So we saw the arguments both the side. Why we need it, why we do not need it. I hope you understood this article. Now let us move on to the next topic. This topic is about 7 products from Uttar Pradesh getting GI tag. So let us see what these products are. So the Geographical Indications Registry in Chennai, because the headquarters is in Chennai only. So what they have done, they have given tags to 7 different products from Uttar Pradesh. So what are they? Amroha, Dolak, Mahoba, Gaura, Pattar, Hastashlip, Mainpuri, Tarkashi, Sambal, Horncraft, Bagpat Home Furnishing, Barabanki Handloom Product, and Kalpi Handmade Paper. So these are the products that have been given GI tag. So the amroha dholak is a musical instrument. It is made of natural wood, and even mango, jackfruit, and teak wood is preferred for making the dholak. And wood from mango and shisham trees are used to carve the multiple sized and hollow blocks. So and then later they are fitted with animal skin. Mostly it is goat skin. And then finally they make the instrument. And the application for Bagpat home furnishing, what does it say? It says Bagpat and Meerut are famous for their exclusive handloom home furnishing product, and they run their fabrics only in cotton yarn. For generations they have been doing this, and only cotton yarn is used for handloom weaving process. And next, for Barabanki handloom product, there are around 50,000 weavers and 20,000 looms in Barabanki. And historical details for Kalpi handmade paper show that Munalal, who is a Gandhian, he only introduced the craft here in 1940s. So, but many people are telling in Kalpi they are doing this for many years. So, for doing this, they have close to 5,000 craftsmen, and there are approximately 200 units doing this. Next is the Mahoba Gaura Pattar Hastashilp. So, this is a stone craft. It is very unique because it is made on soft stone, and it has a scientific name called the pyroflight stone. And the Gaura stonecraft is made of radiant white color stone because only this stone is found majorly in the region. And they are used for making craft items. And next is Tarkashi. This is a very popular art form from Mainpuri. So what do? They primarily use brass wire inlay work on wood. So it was mainly used for works on wooden sandals because leather was considered unclean. So they do this work on wooden sandals. And for the sambal handcraft, raw material is procured from dead animals, but they're all handmade. Now let us move on to the next topic. This topic is about a uniform civil code. So our Prime Minister is telling he'll bring it. Now let us analyze why we need it and what are the pros and cons of it. So the Prime Minister has said that the country could not run with dual system of separate laws for separate communities. So he's telling we all should be brought under one common law. So he's telling this because just a week back the 22nd Law Commission has sought fresh suggestions from various stakeholders for UCC. So they've asked public and religious organizations for their opinion on UCC. So he's telling can one run the country with such dual system like this, because each community is having one law, right? So he's telling it is not possible to run a country like this. And he's made a mention of Pasmanda Muslims. So who are Pasmanda Muslims? In Muslims itself there is caste like Ashraf Muslims, Ajlaf Muslims, like that. So Pasmanda Muslims are socially and economically deprived, you can say lower caste Muslims. So he's telling other parties are exploiting them. So let's not get to the political angle of it. Now we'll just see why it is necessary and what are the pros and cons of it. And constitutionally we'll analyze why do we need it or why we do not need it. So and even Law Ministry has recently filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court telling citizens belonging to different religions and denominations, they are following different property laws, different matrimonial laws. So this is an insult to the country's unity, like that Law Ministry has told Supreme Court. So and you know the provision, right, from the DPSP. It's Article 44 of the Constitution. So it says it's the duty of the state to endeavor to secure to its citizens a uniform civil code. And in 2019, a division bench of the Supreme Court has exhorted the state to endeavor, and they're asking the government to bring common code. So and even they talked about the government's failure to bring uniform civil code for its citizens. So the court said, despite the court saying all these things in the Shah Bano case in the 1985, the government has done nothing to bring uniform civil code. So I hope you all know about the Shah Bano case. So in this, Muslim women's right to maintenance was given by the court, but of course it was later struck down. So that is the Shah Bano case. So where does it come? Article 44, Part 4 of the Constitution, DPSP. So in this only they are talking about uniform civil code. But the Supreme Court in the Jose Paulo Coutinho judgment, it is telling that no, it is such a very wrong thing that the state has done nothing to bring uniform civil code. And recently Uttarakhand has wanted to set up his own uniform civil code committee, and even the Prime Minister in his speech referred to Supreme Court decisions and observation. But on the other hand, Supreme Court is quite apprehensive also, because the Constitution bench in the SR Bommai versus Union of India case had warned about mixing religion and state power. So they're telling both religion and state power must be kept apart. That is the constitutional injunction. So that is what the Constitution wants. And so they're telling, if you want to if you're telling religion and state power will not be kept together, then it is against constitution, like that they are telling. So in the 1994 judgment, what they said, don't introduce religion into politics, because it is like introducing impermissible element into body political, and this will create an imbalance in the constitutional system. So like that in SR Bommai case itself they are told. So they are telling the constitution requires not just the state, but even the political parties need to be secular in thought and action. So the court verdict said, if the constitution requires the state to be secular in thought and action, then political parties also should be secular in thought and action, right? So this is what the verdict said. So what are the advantages? Why we should have UCC? Why should we implement UCC? Because first thing, equality. India is a secular democracy, and a common civil and personal law would ensure equality among citizens. It would reduce gender discrimination, because all religious laws are discriminatory towards women, and men are usually granted upper status. And uniform civil code will bring both men and women at par and would reduce discrimination against women. And societal norms, existing personal laws are mainly based on patriarchal notions of the society, so that will change. Next, it will simplify a lot of legal matters, because a lot of them are governed by personal laws. So this will also help in speedy disposal of cases and reduce burden on the judiciary. So this will help in national integration, because this will eliminate the scope of politicization of issues that are perceived to be discriminatory. So this will put an end to it. So what are the challenges? So in India, diverse personal laws and customary practices are there, and this is only making the country diverse. So they're telling don't hamper with this, and they're telling don't want uniformity, because in India it is very difficult to achieve. And a vast portion of the personal laws, it is very difficult to codify them. And see, it will like imposing majority values on minoritarians, because the Special Marriage Act prohibits marriage between first cousins. But if you see, Muslims marry their first cousins. So this is like putting a majoritarian value on minorities. And in the north, marriage between second cousins is not acceptable. But in the South India, second cousins get married. So they're telling how diverse the customs are. So they're telling, so this is why its UCC's implementation will be very difficult. And if you take constitutionally, this violates fundamental rights. It violates Article 25 and Article 26, right? And political willpower is necessary, because there will be a lot of ramifications. So government should be ready to face all those things when it comes to implementing UCC. Now let us move on to the next topic. This topic is about Center planning a new bill on the stray dog issue. So what is happening, because we are seeing a lot of new reports that stray dogs are killing children, old people and all those things. So for that, the Union Minister has told the center will soon formulate a law on this issue. And what they're going to do, they'll amend animal birth control rules. So that's how they're going to tackle this issue. So what else they're doing? They're in touch with Animal Welfare Board and state and local bodies, and even to the public they are talking, and they're seeing how this can be addressed. So he's telling we are working with all the stakeholders to see how this can be achieved. Let us see some facts about the stray dog population in India. So in 2019, it was stated in Lok Sabha that the stray dog population went down by 18 lakhs in 7 years. So earlier it was 1.71 crores, now it is 1.53 crores. and some independent studies are suggesting that the population is very, very high. And globally, rabies is causing close to 59,000 human deaths annually. And in India, 36% of the global death is due to rabies. And India also accounts for 65% of the Southeast region. So the National Rabies Control Program reported 6,644 clinically suspected cases and deaths of human rabies between 2012 and 2022. And even the National Institute of Communicable Disease tells that 96% of rabies case in India is due to stray dogs. So India leads the world in rabies death cases. So what are the reasons for the increasing stray dog crisis in India? So we do not have proper animal birth control programs because there are not enough animal birth control programs in place to control the population of stray dogs. For example, in many areas, dogs are often left unsterilized. So what will happen? They keep giving puppies. So because of that, population of stray dogs is increasing. And in India, what happens? Many people abandon their pets on streets because they might not be in a position to raise them up, so they just abandon. So this is also leading to increase in stray dog population and poor waste management. So what happens? Stray dogs often scavenge for food in garbage dump. So because of that, in one place, a lot of stray dogs will come. And there's lack of awareness also, because many people are not aware of the importance of responsible pet ownership. So this is also leading to dog crisis, and religious beliefs also play a part, because some communities in India believe that killing or sterilizing dog is against their religious belief. So because of this makes it difficult to implement effective animal birth control programs. And there is inadequate animal welfare laws. So the current laws are not strong enough to protect animals from abuse and neglect. So this is also leading to increase in the number of stray dogs. And what are the arguments in favor of confining stray dogs? So public safety, because stray dogs can pose a risk to public safety. How? Because they attack people and other animals. So confining them in facilities or culling of stray dogs can reduce such incidents. And control of diseases. Stray dogs carry a lot of diseases, right? So they can be transmitted to humans. Best example is rabies. So confining them will help to control the spread of disease. And they're a nuisance because stray dogs cause a lot of nuisance by barking loudly, damaging property, and creating a mess. So confining them in facilities or culling them can reduce such problems. And we can also give importance to population control, because if their population keeps increasing, it's a problem only. So what are the arguments against confining stray dogs in facilities? So confining or culling of stray dogs is often viewed as cruel, and especially if the dogs are healthy and they have not caused any harm, why should we confine them or cull them? And there are ethical concerns. So many people believe that animals have a right to life, and that killing or confining them goes against this principle. So ineffectiveness, and WHO's expert committee on rabies says there is no evidence that the removal of dog has a significant impact on dog population densities and the spread of rabies. So this is also an important point to look into. And lack of resources. In many areas, there are not enough resources or facilities available to confine or euthanize all stray dogs. And alternatives. There are alternative issues such as animal birth control programs and responsible pet ownership, which is better than culling, right? So they are human and effective. Legal issues. In some countries, killing or confining stray dogs is illegal. And proponents of animal rights argue that enforcing these laws is important for protecting animal welfare. So the effective strategy would be to implement animal birth control program by municipal bodies in accordance with the new animal birth control rules. And a proactive approach would be to encourage the adoption of Indian dogs, native breeds. So if one person out of every 100 people adopts a dog from the street, there would be no dogs on the road. So this is true, right? Because totally itself there are just 1 crore stray dogs. The native breeds of dogs should be promoted, because native dogs have better immune systems and they make great pets. And finally, what do? We encourage responsible pet ownership. So this will encourage pet owners to keep their pets on leashes, spay or neuter them, and if they give them adequate food and shelter, this can help prevent dogs from becoming strays. And finally, what we can do, we can prohibit public feeding of stray dogs and penalize people who do it. And finally, educate people about animal welfare and responsible pet ownership. Now let us go to previous year question. NH4, where is NH4? NH4 is in Andaman, and NH6 and NH15 are in Northeast. So the answer is none. Which one of the following is the correct sequence of a food chain? The answer is diatoms, crustaceans, and herrings. Chaitra, one of the national calendar based on the Saka era, corresponds to which one of the following dates of the Gregorian calendar in a normal year of 365 days? The answer is A, 22nd March. A grand image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvana with numerous celestial musicians above and the sorrowful figures of his followers below. It is in Ajanta only. So first one is right. It is in Ajanta. A huge image of Varaha avatar of Vishnu as he rescues goddess Earth from deep and chaotic water sculpted on the rock. This is not in Mount Abu. This is in Udayagiri caves in Vidisha. Arjuna's penance or descent of Ganges. It is in Mamalapuram only. So the answer is C, 1 and 3. So that's all for today. I hope you liked it. You can comment if you liked it. You can subscribe the channel and share it among your friends. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, and Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again.